What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to tell you how I took my Instagram account from 0 followers all the way up to 30,000 in 7 months. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Brian, and today I'm going to tell you how I took my account from 0 followers to 30,000 in 7 months. But before I tell you that, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to this channel so you can get all the new videos. And if you subscribe, hit that bell button so that you can get a notification whenever I'm posting. All right, let's get right into it. Not gonna do a lot of like screenshots because if you can't follow it, you can always hit me up and I can show you some things. But I think it's better if I just talk you through it. If you want me to make another video where I'm showing you the screenshots and showing you certain things, I can try to do that. But another thing is, I don't have a lot of the screenshots because I didn't think, hey Brian, it'd be smart to take screenshots as you're building. But that's life. I can still tell you how it happened. So, in July of last year, 2018, for those of you watching in the future, in July of 2018, I decided that I was going to start a series of niche pages. And the reason why is because I have a lot of interests. I like to do a lot of things. I do jiu-jitsu, I do kickboxing, I like cooking, I like traveling, I like music. Everybody on YouTube said if you're going to start an Instagram page and you want to grow, you have to niche down. I don't like that. I can't say I disagree with it. I think it's better and it makes it easier for you to grow. But I'm just not a fan of that because I think we're multi-dimensional. I think we have multi-interests. I don't think we just like one thing. But I understand where they're coming from. I think it applies more for YouTube. But again, I understand where they're coming from. So I said, what can I do? I know I'm going to make, I'm just going to do a series of pages that are loosely connected. I don't want to say loosely connected. I have a thought, but I'm somewhat holding back. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to be talking about the Casual Jazzer, which I'm wearing a Casual Jazzer shirt. If you want it, you can get a link in the bio. Back to it. So I started, and my idea was, I just want to make a page where people can go and see really dope jazz videos, jazz solos, jazz artists, whatever. Some of my friends, some of my favorite friends, some of my favorite people. I just wanted people to be able to go online and see that on Instagram. So I came up with a page and I started posting. Initially, I was just posting with the biggest hashtags I can find. Now, over the course of, my page, I think about a couple of months in, I came to the realization that I shouldn't be posting the biggest hashtags because I won't show up in those. I'm too small. So then I went really small. And I picked the smallest hashtags I can find. And as I continued to do research, and all the while I was around like 100 for about a month, and maybe I got into the 300s for about 2 months. Then as I continued to do my research, I realized that it's not simply avoiding the big ones or using the small ones. You need to have a mix. And once I put this system into effect, I started growing. Now, it was just growing like kind of whatever, nothing big, but then I had a video go somewhat viral, 50,000 views. But here's the tricky thing about it. It was 2,000 views on the page, 50,000 on the Facebook page that was connected to it. But for some reason, that 2,000 caused like a chain reaction and it never stopped. The reason why though, I believe, is because I implemented my hashtag system. I have a whole video that I'm going to link to here about hashtags and how I use hashtags. And I do 20 hashtags, and it's 5 that are related to the video. These 5 change every time. The other 15, I use a set group of 3. So day 1, day 2, day 3, and I repeat day 1, day 2, day 3. So day 1 is Monday and Thursday. Day 2 is Tuesday and Friday. Day 3 is Wednesday and Saturday. I don't post on Sundays most times unless I have to, just to give myself a day off and rest. The way I pick these hashtags is I pick 5 that are 1 million posts or more. So if you go and you do hashtag research and you like type in, let's say music, you'll get a number or something, I don't know, I'm making it up, like let's say 70 million, meaning 70 million people have used that hashtag. So you're going to be competing against 70 million people. So obviously you don't want to post in there if you're a small account, because if you don't have a big account, you're not going to get the views to rank in there. But you don't want to avoid it entirely, because if you use this system, then you have a chance to rank in there. And this is how. You have 5 that are 7 figures or 1 million plus. Then you have 5 that are 6 figures up to 7 figures. Then you have 5 that are 6 figures and below. And what you want to do is you want to walk the ladder up to the 7 figures. So the 6 figures and below, you want to try to dominate those. And you want to pick ones that are specific to your niche, to your posting, and to your page. And that's going to help you. And if you can dominate that, that'll push you into the middle, 6 figures to 7 figures. And the same thing applies. You want to dominate that. And if you can dominate that, then you have a chance to hit one of those 7 figures and up, and that's going to help you go viral. To me, it makes sense. I know it's complicated. Sometimes people just have to DM me. If you want to message me, you can message me. I'll put my email in there and I can explain it to you again slower with maybe some screenshots to help. But really, that's what it was. And then, so that system is what kind of sparked my growth. Now, something that's simpler or easier to understand is consistency. I was consistent from that day in July when I started to right now. I post every day. I've started with 2 posts, I believe. I went all the way up to 5, and I've scaled back, and I've stayed at, my average has been about 3 posts a day. I post every 3 hours from 9 to 9. Currently I'm doing 9 a.m., 3 p.m., and 6 p.m. And I have that gap in there so that I can do my jujitsu. I can go over to Marcelo's and get back and still have time to do my posts. But I've also done it where I've done 9, 6, and 9. I've done 9, 12, and 3. So I just mess around, I play around with those hours. Now, here's something that a lot of people say that I don't necessarily agree with. I don't think it matters really when you post, as far as timing. I think if you give people a consistent timing, they don't care. They'll get to it when they get to it. I know the idea is that you have an hour for engagement after for the algorithm. So like you make a post and then Instagram's gonna watch for an hour to see how the post does. It's just not that true. Now, to be fair to myself, or to be fair to the people who say it, it's not like I've had an explosively viral video on this particular page, but I have another page that's coming up on 10,000 that I started at the same time, and that post, and I do the same thing, and I have several posts that are 6 figures and above in views. So it matters, but I don't think it matters that much. What matters is this: the hashtag strategy, which could be equated to SEO optimization, or making sure that your posts are visible. That's how I tell my clients. We want to make sure our posts are visible. And the way you make them visible is through using proper hashtag. Second, consistency. You have to be consistent. Do not post 3 posts in the morning or at night because you don't want to post throughout the day. That doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. You can't miss days and then post a bunch on the next available day. It doesn't work that way. You have to be consistent every single day. Every single day. And even on the days like on Sundays when I don't post, still engaging. I'm still responding. That's another thing. I'm sorry, I forgot to include that. I respond to almost every single comment. And sometimes it's crazy. And some days like I'll slack a little bit and I'll have to go back and I'll have to respond to like 60 comments, but I do it. That's what I do. And that's why my page has great engagement. My page currently is about 50% engagement. So if I'm getting 900,000 impressions, I'm getting at least half of that as reach. That's pretty good. I'm not bragging. I mean, I'm proud of it, but that's really good. So consistency, visibility, engagement, and the last thing is you gotta have an eye for content. You gotta have an eye for good content, okay? Do my captions matter? It's tough. I say it doesn't hurt. It definitely doesn't hurt, but I don't think that that's the experience the people that are on my page are looking for. They don't want to think deeply about it. They just want to give their opinion. And I can definitely say some of my best posts, I definitely phoned in the copy, you know? So I would say consistency over like making sure the quality of the copy is great. And I'll tell you what the most important thing is, but to be honest, I don't know how to make people do this. And I think that when I've tried, it's not successful. It feels inauthentic. If you can get people, and this is something that Jade Damawanza, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your last name. She talked about this in a comment or in one of her videos. The engagement with people in the comments. Now this is something I learned when my girlfriend, one of her videos went viral, like really viral, like millions of views. And I would notice in the comments were the party. That's where the viralness happens, in the comments. So on my Casual Grappler page, which has less followers than this page, but gets 6 figures in views, people get on there and they talk trash. And they talk trash to each other, and they agree with each other, and they enjoy each other, but the conversation is amazing, and I believe that's why I'm getting crazy views. Whereas on my Jazz page, people generally are just saying that they like it, they don't really approach it negatively, they don't conversate with each other, they just kind of drop a, oh, sounds amazing, sounds dope, oh, that person sucks. And so, you know what I mean? It's not a deep conversation. I've asked questions, I've done polls, I've done the, you know, A, B, C, D. None of that really works. People just decide if they want to talk or if they don't. And so maybe, you know, do some investigation online, look it up and see what people are saying. I haven't really seen anything that gives me a solid plan for consistently sparking engagement or conversation in the comments, but that is something that if you can get that, you'll know that you're on the right path. People are consistently engaging and commenting back and forth, even if they're arguing. And that's something too that you have to watch. My impulse was to jump in there and put my side in the conversation. So if someone's saying something against what I believe, I wanted to either correct them, come back at them, or even delete them or block them. Do not do that. Remember, you are making this page for them. Whether you agree with what they're saying or not, your content is for them. And so if somebody's on your page and they're being a butt, it's probably good, because someone's probably gonna let them know, hey, we don't agree with you. And then they're gonna go back, and then they're gonna go back, and so on and so forth. So remember, all engagement is good engagement. So this is what I did. I'm trying to make it into a step-by-step book, and when I do, I will, but it's hard for me because recently I've been struggling with the feeling that I can't help but notice that so many people are selling how to build and how to grow, but they're not, and they got classes and they got master classes and they got books, but then they're not doing anything. You know what I mean? They're not selling anything. Some of them don't even have big pages. You know, they're just telling you how. You know, that's why I almost never talk about how to grow on YouTube, because although I have concepts and I think I understand how to grow, I haven't grown. So until I do it, what am I talking about? I'm just telling you about what I've done. And I'm not just growing for the sake of growing, I'm building a business. And ultimately, I want to grow to create more awareness for my business. You know, I just see people growing for the sake of growing, and it's like they're growing off the backs of their students. You know, they're making money off the backs of their students. And I think there's a big difference between going to someone like Gary Vee and saying, Gary, can you show me some of the stuff that you're working on versus some of these people that I'm not gonna say any names. And you know, I don't want to throw too much shade or throw any shade, because even some of the most sleazy YouTube and social media gurus I've learned from. So, you know, you always need to be humble, because maybe their intentions are not great, but you can still learn from them. And this is a tough game. It's constantly moving, it's constantly changing. And if you think that you can take one day, a week, a month and learn everything you gotta know, you're wrong. Because what worked on Instagram last year, this time, is not working now. What worked on Instagram at the beginning of this year is not working now. Anybody who's on it, so this is April 3rd, 2019. Right now, the engagement is really slow. The organic is so low. And I'm sure there's a lot of people freaking out, but there's no need to freak out. You just keep adjusting. You keep learning. You keep popping online and seeing what's working. So I hope that this helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to help and give you some tips and advice. I do consulting for Instagram. I do social consulting and management, but for Instagram, that's where I give the most value. I think that's where I have the most value. I have proven results, and I'd love to help you. So have a great day. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.